Before a few months ago, when I thought of the Master Chief, I would usually think of something like this. But nowadays, whenever I think of the Master Chief, I think of something like this. Yeah, good luck getting that image out of your head. Hey guys, what's going on? Untitled here with another video for you guys. Before we get into this video, I want to clarify two things. Yes, I am in the garage of my house because I miss my old garage back in Paulsbo. And two, yes, I am wearing a zipped up sweatshirt due to the fact that it is 45 degrees outside in Greenville, South Carolina. And another thing, my door is open, or the big garage door is open for extra lighting due to a suggestion from my mom, who's always concerned about having light in whatever room I'm in and being able to see. It's a common thing. Anyway, with all that out of the way, today's video is going to be another showcase video. Hopefully, you have watched my my last video that I did, which was the showcasing of my Black Ops 3 loadout. And if you recall from the end when I was wrapping up shop, cue a bit of footage about that. Currently, I am working on a Halo weapon, and provided I can complete that, I would like to showcase that because personally this is really, I think it's really cool. And so today's video is going to be that weapon. So, it just occurred to me I don't have information about it yet. Let me grab some real quick, and I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
Okay, so now I have some data with me about the weapon we're going to be showcasing today. And I also have some of my other weapons with me to kind of compare the construction of this weapon because the construction of this one is a little bit different. I like it better than the construction of some of the other ones. I still like the other ones, but the construction of this one I think is a lot neater than the other ones, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a little bit. So if you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. So hopefully those of you subscribed to my channel will remember that I did a Halo showcase video sometime last year. And if you haven't seen that yet, you can go to the card up here to check it out. So today's weapon that I am showcasing is the Commando Rifle. Now the funny thing about this weapon is that this is from a Halo game that hasn't come out yet. Yes, those of you who are grasping for hope about the next Halo game, this is from Halo Infinite. And before we get into some details, I'll give you some stats about it. Yes, I did. I got a phone a couple weeks ago. Okay. So this weapon is called the VK7A Commando Rifle. The ammunition type is Cal 6.5mm. The manufacturer is Vacara. The feed system is a 20-round detachable box magazine, and its rate of fire is fully automatic. So, also before we go into some details, I'll show you a little bit of footage from the Halo Infinite demo that came out last year. When Master Chief uses the Commando Rifle. So here's a bit of footage. And now you've seen that, now we'll go into some details. So, doing the usual scan feature. This is the front with the nozzle. Going down, here's the white stripe. Here is this is kind of a bit like a red dot scope, or a yellow dot in the video game. And here's where the magazine is. Here's the trigger. And here's the back part where you would hold it, and the stock. And here's the other side. And so right here is where the mag is, this black part. You just pull it out. And here's what the mag looks like. And hopefully you can see the inside. You can see kind of the inside from these little things. Look, there's me. So you can kind of see the inside on how on where this fits. And then as if you're reloading, stick it back in. And there you go. And it's a pretty good fit. I think I accidentally made this part a little too long, long as opposed to the picture. I think it's supposed to be a little bit short, but I made it long as a precaution for the event that I accidentally made the weapon a bit too small for me, because I have the tendency to make weapons supposedly like life size, but not actually, and so it'll be kind of small or big for me. Bigger is preferable, so I just went along with this. A couple of things that I'm realizing about it now that I'm not a huge fan of. Or three things, actually. One, this part is supposed to be a smaller, rounder thing, kind of like the nozzle is. It just never occurred to me until after, guess what, after I finished construction. Second thing, this is supposed to be a scope. I didn't realize it because the pictures I was looking at didn't provide an actual aim down the sights. So if like you look at it from here, it's supposed to be an additional little scope, like kind of like on a regular assault rifle. Not a Halo assault rifle, just any normal assault rifle. It's supposed to be a little bit of a scope to focus in on. I thought it was something to help you, like one of those little sight things, just as like stick sight things to help you aim steadier. It was not. I forgot about that. Third thing is, this is a little bit, the nozzle is a little bit off-centered. And had I thought about it, there's a little stability piece inside here, and had I thought about it, I would have placed it here to make it more steady, but I didn't do that. So, there's that. In the meantime, I still really like this weapon, and I personally can't wait to try it on myself when Halo Infinite comes out. I say when because I'm optimistic. It's probably it. Sorry, delivery truck. So, now to the details of the construction. This was actually one of my favorite things to construct because of the way that it is put together. It's put together like a puzzle piece, basically. So, if like you look closely right here, here, and here, those are lines, and you might be thinking, oh, those look like lines where they were apart and they've been glued together. You are exactly right. I made it a bit like a puzzle piece, and I had it as 4 separate pieces. And the reason I did it was because I've taken notice in the past that kind of bigger weapons, if I just put glue on the outlines and put it down, it would be at risk. It would be at risk for drying before I put it on, and then it wouldn't be as sticky. So I wanted there to be a more easier, efficient way to put it on without the glue drying, and 4 separate pieces was in fact my solution. There goes another car. So the 4 separate pieces were the back, so like the stock and the handle. This was one part. The second part was this main part with the trigger and the magazine. The third part was this top part, including the barrel, and the final part was the grip part down here. And a fifth part was the sight to put on, and a sixth part was the bits of the magazine. So now is the part where I show you like different bits of construction to kind of compare with this one. First, I'll show you this. This is all entirely filled out. This is why I want to do that kind of puzzle piece method, because I want to try to like fill in on the gaps so that way it's not so much of an eyesore seeing the inner parts. And so these are, this is all filled in, which I really like. It's less of an eyesore to see. The only thing that isn't so filled in is kind of this part, but I feel like since you wouldn't really stare at the front, it's not too noticeable. And maybe a little bit in here. Other than that, it's all filled in, and it's really nice. And so this is like what a fully filled in gun would look like. Whereas if you look at my Black Ops 3 pistol, I tried to fill in some things. I tried to run the handle specifically, but the rest of it you can kind of see the inside, and in my opinion it's just a bit of an eyesore. Even the top is kind of rudimentary. It's still a cool weapon, but it's not totally filled in. The same goes for my Black Ops assault rifle. It really feels smaller now that I've been holding the Commando Rifle. The best that I did to fill in different bits was the sides where the magazine would go in, the top right here, and the bottom, or not the bottom, the stock part. Those I think are the bits where I filled it in pretty good. Originally, I considered like putting covering on the top to kind of cover this part, especially knowing that there's a rubber band underneath here that you can kind of see without it. But I just kind of abandoned it. And then there's also weapons like this. This is my, I think it's G36C, I think it's called. This is how I originally started doing construction on weapons, basically by layers. And like it would be a few separate layers, and then I would put cardboard in between to fill in the gaps. And while there was nothing wrong with that, it's still not exactly neat, because you can still see the inside, especially if some of the constructions that I did had kind of messy interiors that you can kind of see. That's not to say these weapons that I made aren't good. I really like them, regardless. But it's just their construction is a little bit more noticeable just because of like how kind of rudimentary it is. Whereas this one, it's less noticeable and it passes for kind of a grade A prop. That's just my opinion. Although, if the opportunity arose to pose as a Black Ops 3 soldier, I would use these. They are no questions asked, because these are some of my favorite weapons. So, as I'm closing up shop, I'll try to show I'll show a few pictures of the construction that I did. This is when I finished. The pictures were when I finished building it, and I was just showing what it looked like before I painted it. I didn't include anything in the interior. In hindsight, that probably would have been a good idea, just to show like the whole process. But because there's not much inside, aside from the trigger mechanism and the rest of the nozzle, I didn't really think to do that. In the future, I'll try to think more about doing that. So, yeah, this is the Commando Rifle. And a funny thing about it was, last year I was watching streamers reacting to the Halo Infinite gameplay demo, that was how I watched it for the first time. And there were like tons of new weapons that Chief was using, and one of them was the Commando Rifle, which looked really cool. And I just saw like the design of it looked cool. The way that I fired looked cool, and I just thought it'd be cool to make one of those. So that's why I decided to. You'll probably notice from some of the pictures or from the video earlier, a couple things are missing. There's like a little stick where you would kind of pull it back to cock after you've reloaded, or there's like a little bullet counter. I'll try to put those on in the future just because I think those would add a bit of extra detail. I didn't add the little cocker thing because I wasn't sure on how to do that and keep it balanced. I'd like to be able to do that because those kind of like cocker mechanisms are awesome, especially like you've seen with the pistol, how this cocks back, and with the assault rifle. So that's something to tackle in the near future. So that is basically today's video. Kind of shorter, thankfully. We are under 20 minutes, to my understanding. And yeah, that's the showcase video. So if you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Comment down if you want me to make another Halo weapon, and if so, which one do you want it to be? And I do have news on what the next 2 videos are going to be. The next one is going to be another top 10 video where I rank the my top 9 favorite Halo video games in preparation for when Halo Infinite comes out. And after that, I'm doing a showcase of some Mandalorian props that I've made. Can't wait for you guys to see. So, in the meantime, hope you guys liked this video. And until next time, I'm Chapter Blizzall, and I'll see you guys next time.